Hello, Williamsburg, James City County Clarinet beginning band students. The clarinet is a very special instrument for a couple of reasons. One, it's similar to the saxophone in the fact that there's more you need to know how to do before you learn the embouchure than, say, a flute or a brass instrument, where they just kind of take the instrument, put it on their face, and blow. Or even the percussion instruments, where they take the sticks, put it in their hand, and just start hitting things. You have to learn about reed maintenance, reed care. You have to actually learn how to assemble part of the instrument, because it's vital to how you're going to be playing the instrument, what you're going to be doing on the instrument. Before we even get to that, though, we can talk a little bit about the clarinet face. And the clarinet face is sort of like an old lady face, or like some kind of like snobby girl or guy, some kind of snobby dude like putting on some kind of like lip gloss or chapstick or something on their lips. So they're like, ugh. Right? Those stereotypical things that you see in those old-timey movies, when movies were bad. So on the clarinet, we're going to start to think about hissing. So I want you to roll on your bottom lip like this, like you're going to put on chapstick, like everybody be like a prominent chapstick wearing person. And you're going to go, ee! And your tongue is going to go high, ee! But notice how my face is still. Look at my eyes. I'm not going, ee. I'm going, ee. Everything is relaxed. Ee. E-U. And you're ringing your corners in. The tongue is high, and when you blow air out, it should sound like you're hissing. Because your tongue is high, and your air is moving fast, super fast. I almost want you to think about your abdomen here, blowing so hard and pushing so hard that you're pushing yourself into your chair. So you're going to roll in the bottom lip, say, ee-oo, ee-oo. Everything tension-wise, everything firmness-wise is happening here. You're not, ee-oo, none of that. Look at yourself in a mirror. Everything except for right here in the center is relaxed and open. Look at your normal face in the mirror. Now, roll your bottom lip. Has anything changed? Now say E. E. Get your tongue out high. Now say ooh, ooh. You cannot really hiss too loud, like a garden hose. Now, if you find yourself getting more of a sound like this, also, if you find yourself getting dizzy, take a breath, take a second, pause the video, and just breathe. Just breathe. Now, if you find yourself getting this kind of a sound, then your tongue is probably too low. What we need to do is slowly raise that tongue and slowly put more pressure in. Like, again, imagine you've got a garden hose and you're taking your thumb and you're slowly covering it. So let's do that together. Until you get that sound, until you match my sound, match my face in the mirror. Again, your chin should be flat too. Your teeth should be even. I want you to go ahead and don't bite hard, because you're going to break your teeth. But notice how normally your teeth are behind. You want both of your teeth to be even. I'm spitting stuff all over the place, aren't I? All right, here are the three things we need to actually set up and play the clarinet. Once you have that down, go back and practice it. Make sure you've got the right sound. Make sure you're relaxed in the mirror. Until you're relaxed in the mirror, you are not going to do super well on the clarinet, and it's going to be super hard for you. So it's important that you master that. On the clarinet, we have three things we need. One, you'll notice in your case, probably on the right side, is this tiny little tube. We call this the barrel. You need the barrel. Put it right here. We need the mouthpiece, which looks like this. And it might have what we call a mouthpiece cap on it. Take that off, put it back in your case. and it has the ligature. We'll talk about the ligature in a second. So you're going to take that out as well. Let me put this over here. Put them right next to each other. And then you need at least one reed. You might have a box of reeds, or you hopefully got in your care kit a reed holder, right, which can hold at least 4 reeds. And you need at least 4 reeds in your case at all times in case you have any bad reeds or anything. And you're going to take one of your reeds, and we're going to learn right now some reed maintenance, which means, and if you have it in a pack, open up the pack, take out the reed. Reed maintenance just means we're making sure that we wet the entire reed. So you're going to wet the entire thing. You're going to put the top part in your mouth, and you're just going to think about maybe that milkshake you really want, or like a big steak, or like Five Guys. You're going to Five Guys, so you're really like salivating in your mouth, and you're thinking about like all the amazing food you could be eating right now at McDonald's. And then you're putting the mouthpiece in your mouth, or the reed in your mouth, and you're kind of looking at it, you're wetting it. Flip it over. Really make sure that you just coat it. This is the part that people miss. Notice how your reed has a fat part and then a thin part. The thin part of the reed, you should never touch with your hands. Especially the closer, the thinner it gets up here. Never touch the tip of the reed with your hands. Never, ever, ever. What are you not going to do? You're not touching the tip of the reed or the thin part of the reed. You're going to need to put the back part of the reed in your mouth, best done by holding over here. So kind of in the middle of the reed, we're still touching the fat part. Flip it over. Notice how I grab down here. I'm not grabbing up here. Do not touch this ever. Once it's starting to get wet, you can put it back in your mouth and continue to wet it, especially the tip of the reed, while you set up this part of your instrument. Notice how your barrel has 2 sections, thin and fat. Again, everything is fat and thin. You're going to take your mouthpiece and put it into the thinner part of the barrel, like this. If your has a logo on it, make sure the logo is facing out and it's straight with the mouthpiece. What I want you to do, this is your ligature. It probably looks a lot like mine. I want you to make sure that the ligature is loose, so you're going to unscrew it. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, remember. And make sure that it kind of moves up and down easily. Because what you're going to do now is you're going to take one hand, you're going to slide up, you're going to take the reed, again, not touching the tip of the reed. And while, again, one finger needs to slide up, the other finger needs to push back so that there's space for the reed to come through. You're going to slide the reed in just like this. Now, you'll notice your reed is not down low enough. Look at that. That's way too high. You are not just pushing down at the tip of the reed. You never touch the tip of the reed. You promised me, and now here you are trying to do it. Don't do it. You're going to grab with your thumbs here, and you're going to slide it down like this. Just shimmy it down. Everything on all of our instruments is really about shimmying. If you guys have seen that, who was that? Magic Johnson, or is it Shaquille O'Neal video, a little shake, you know, the Gold Bond commercial. And you're going to make sure, now notice, your reed has the thick part of the reed always goes in first. And notice how it has, again, just remember fat to fat, so the fat part of the reed to the fat part of the mouthpiece, and flat to flat, the flat part of the reed against the flat part of the mouthpiece. Fat to fat, flat to flat. Notice how you've got a line here where the reed kind of changes. And notice how you probably have, if your reed's not as old as mine, you probably still have a sort of smiley face looking curve there. You always need the ligature to be below this line. We call that the water line. Make sure it's below the water line. Once you have that adjusted, you're going to take, you also might have a line too. Mine has a line on the mouthpiece here, which connects over to the line on the reed. And that's basically where the line on the reed should go. If you don't have that, the best way to check is to look at it on the top right here, you should see no reed on this side, and then on this side you should see just the slightest sliver of black. So I might actually need to lower mine slightly. So like this. Okay, now you're gonna take the bottom ligature first, bottom screw, tighten it until it's snug, but not tight. I barely had to move that, snug. The top screw, you barely tighten at all. You're literally gonna go down until it starts to resist you. Watch. Boom. Oh, resistance, that's all I need to do. The top ligature is still pretty loose, honestly, but it does not need to be tight at all. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take your right hand. I'm gonna use my left so that I'm mirroring you, so that if you're looking at me, you can just follow along like it's a mirror. You're gonna take your right hand, and you're gonna put one finger, first finger, pointer finger, on this silver. Then you're gonna stretch out your other fingers, bottom finger on this part of the silver, and the middle finger in between, just like this, and your thumb goes on the back. So one finger on each silver, middle finger in between. The pinky just kind of hangs out a little bit. Now, you're gonna go again, rolling your bottom lip like you're putting chest stick on, make sure the face is neutral. E, tongue is high, ooh, ew, hiss, shh. Now we're gonna do that on the mouthpiece. Please, please, please make sure that when you put it in your mouth, your teeth are touching the mouthpiece and your teeth are even. Even teeth, your teeth touches the mouthpiece. Do not hold it with your lips. Do not try to hold it with your lips. That's gonna be the biggest struggle of your life. Teeth on the mouthpiece, and watch. And you're gonna go E, ooh, now, you're gonna find so many great, wonderful exercises down in the description, as well as a sheet that will help you finer tune your embouchure. And we can do the breathing chant with the embouchure as well. And then you're gonna have 4 count and 8 count exercises and everything. And make sure you can match a beautiful steady pitch and a steady tone. So let's play the breathing chant together. 2, ready, you're gonna breathe out your bad air, breathe out, breathe in. Now, how do we breathe in? Well, you open up the corners of your mouth, just like that. Or you're snarling. And your tongue is always up and high and your teeth are always even. I hope that this helps. I hope that you enjoy your practicing on working on your clarinet embouchure. So, I'll see you guys later and happy practicing.